Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today I actually want to go off on a tangent and not specifically talk about low back pain, but rather I want to talk about something known as the red flags, because basically what this is it's a series of signs that practitioners would look for in conjunction with a musculoskeletal pain. And if these flags are present, they could indicate that there's something more than simply musculoskeletal pain going on. However, just a big disclaimer at the very beginning, these red flags pretty much are only present in less than 3% of all back pain, neck pain, any kind of musculoskeletal pain cases out there. So it is extremely, extremely rare. I can pretty much guarantee that most of you watching this video, pretty much almost all of you watching this video, if you are having any kind of low back pain or neck pain, any kind of pain like that, that it's not something serious. It's just your regular wear and tear musculoskeletal pain. Again, just want to reiterate that it is most likely not serious. Just want to make that clear. Now let's get on with this video. So constitutional symptoms. What are constitutional symptoms? Basically, what constitutional symptoms are they're a series of non-specific symptoms that, when they are present, indicate the possibility of some kind of disease going on. Either some kind of disease within the body or something foreign, such as an infection. So let's go over all 5 of the most commonly seen, or the 5 most important, I would say, constitutional symptoms out there, and how this actually ends up playing into, say, low back pain. Now, let's starting with fever. Pretty self-explanatory. Anytime there is a fever, there is some kind of inflammation or some kind of infection going on within the body. It's the body's natural response to fighting off these foreign invaders. That's what a fever is. A fatigue. Now, fatigue here, I kind of want to emphasize the fact that this is unexplained fatigue, not something that is explained. Now, explained fatigue is something such as a long day of work or exercising for long periods of time. It's something that can be explained. It's something that you pretty much brought on yourself. I'm talking here about unexplained fatigue. Like, you don't know where this fatigue is coming from, but you just feel really tired and you don't know why. That's what this is from. Malaise. Now, what is malaise? I know with fever and fatigue, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really have to go into too much detail with that. What is malaise, though? Malaise is basically described as the general feeling of uneasiness or unwellness. It's just something does not feel right. It just feels off. That's the best way to describe that. It just feels off. I'm pretty sure we've all experienced this at least once in our lives, where something just doesn't feel right. And normally this is one of the very first symptoms that actually develops when there is something going on in the body. Now here, appetite loss. Don't need to describe much again. Basically, we don't feel like we want to eat. And we pretty much experience this with any kind of infection, such as if you get a severe cold or the flu, you do not want to eat. You lost your appetite, you just don't want to do anything. And that's basically what this is. Now, unexplained weight loss. Again, I want to emphasize unexplained here, because this isn't the weight loss that you get when, say, you're on a diet or you're exercising real hard, because again, that can be explained. You're bringing that onto yourself. This is, you're still eating the same amount, you're still exercising or you're not exercising, but you're steadily losing weight and you don't know why. This is typically characterized by around 10 pounds or more in a period of 3 months or so. If you're losing that much within that time frame unexplainedly, is that a word? I don't know. Then something could be going on. So these 5 are the 5 most commonly asked, I guess, by practitioners, symptoms that they would ask patients in order to see if there's something going on, like a screen almost. Now let's kind of talk about what these kind of symptoms can kind of point toward, and I'll give you an example of every single one. So here I have possible indications. What are some of the possibilities that could come from these symptoms? Now here, you see here, I have the 3 biggest baddies: cancer, infection, and autoimmunity. And I'll kind of explain the example as I go, and how this kind of ties into, say, musculoskeletal pain. Now, for cancer here, you guys all know what cancer is. I pretty much don't have to explain. It's something that's, I'm going to explain anyway. It's something that's growing uncontrolled in your body, and it takes all the nutrients and all the energy from your body, and it basically starts invading other areas once it gets big enough, and eventually it could kill you. That's basically what cancer is, if you didn't already know. So I'm going to use the example of prostate cancer and how this could manifest as low back pain. So prostate cancer, again, it develops in the prostate first, but as I mentioned earlier, when cancer develops to a point, it starts to spread, and this is known as metastasis. One of the most common locations for prostate cancer to metastasize is the low back, the spine and the low back. Now, you could be having low back pain, and you don't really think anything of it. You probably think it's just, oh, it's your regular everyday low back pain. Oh, I probably lifted something heavy, I'm not feeling well, and yeah, it just bothers me. But if you're also experiencing, say, unexplained weight loss, and you're fatigued all the time, and something just feels off, you're getting malaise. Now you go to a doctor and you tell them, I have low back pain, and then at the same time they ask you some of these questions and you tell them basically everything that I just talked earlier. Loss of appetite, unexplained weight loss, fatigue and malaise, and then the doctor, now knowing this, he's going to start going more in depth and trying to find out if this is simply low back pain or if there's something more ominous going on, such as metastasis. So that's cancer right there, and how red flags and constitutional symptoms can kind of point in the direction of cancer with the low back pain. Now, next, let's talk about an infection, and let's use the example of spinal tuberculosis. Now, I know for a lot of you, tuberculosis, when you think tuberculosis, you're thinking lungs, and that is completely true. Most of the time it does go for the lungs, but sometimes it can also go for the bones. And one of the more common areas that it does attack, that is bone, is the spine. So, spinal tuberculosis. You're getting mid-back pain. Let's just use the example of mid-back pain because we use the example of low back pain for the cancer. So mid-back pain. Again, you think nothing of it. It's probably just some wear and tear, right? You go to the doctors, you tell them that it's hurting, and then they ask you, and then you also tell them that, okay, I don't have much of an appetite. I ran a fever a little while ago, and I'm feeling fatigued. Something doesn't feel right. And again, they're going to take that information with the back pain that you described, and they're going to start screening you more in depth, and they're going to try to find out if this is simply just low mid-back pain or if there's something more going on, such as an infection. So that is infection for you. Now, autoimmunity. For those of you that don't know what autoimmunity is basically the body's immune system recognizes the body itself as something foreign, and it basically ends up attacking the body itself. It's when your body starts attacking itself. It's really bad. So, autoimmunity. I'm going to use the example of rheumatoid arthritis. Now, I know a lot of you are probably familiar with what rheumatoid arthritis is. It's basically, again, the immune system starts attacking the body's joints, and you start getting these erosions in your joints, and it's extremely painful, and sometimes it can even be crippling. So, rheumatoid arthritis. Let's use the example of neck, because we use low back, we use mid back. Let's go to the neck now. So, neck pain. Most people with rheumatoid arthritis do have neck pain. So, again, you're having neck pain, you go to the doctors, you tell them you have neck pain, and they ask you some questions, and you end up telling them that, okay, yeah, don't really have much of an appetite, I feel fatigued, and something doesn't feel right, and I just don't feel good, in addition to the pain that you're feeling. So again, they're going to take all that information, sum it up, and they're going to put you through more tests, possibly blood tests, just to make sure that there isn't something more ominous going on than simply just neck pain, and in this case, rheumatoid arthritis. So that is autoimmunity for you. Now, I hope this video wasn't too hard to understand. I know that was a lot of stuff, and this is something different than just your typical low back pain video. Again, fever, fatigue, malaise, loss of appetite, and unexplained weight loss. These are probably five of the most important constitutional symptoms out there that you want to keep an eye out for. In addition, if you are having some kind of neck pain back pain or low back pain or any kind of musculoskeletal pain, because even though it is still extremely rare, it could indicate that there is something more than just simply musculoskeletal pain going on. And the three biggest baddies here are cancer, infection, and autoimmune disease. Now, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section below. So until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay alive.